Right, welcome everyone to Asteroids 2.1. If you've managed to follow along so far, then what you should have is a web page that when you load does something like this, I hope. If you haven't got this, feel free to mention it in the chat. I'm not sure if the chat's working properly actually. When I tried to enable it in YouTube it said there was issues, but it has worked in the past, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Anyway, put it in the comments of the video because we're not in a live stream with this one, and let's carry on from here. So what shall we do? Shall we do the shots? Get some interaction with the shots and the missile and the rocks. Yeah. Okay, let's do the shots. So we need a shot class. I know that because we did a shot class in the first version. So let's go to our classes folder, new file, shot.js. So class shot constructor. Okay. So let's see, what did we put in the shot and the other one in the constructor? So we don't need P5, we've got access to them. Ship position and angle. Oh, of course, because the shot is determined by the angle of the ship. So really, we should think about. Oh, go on. Yes, we should think about maybe doing the angle of the ship first. Probably a better thing to do. But I don't really want to do that until we've got the server stuff set up, so I'm wondering if we should go back to the server. Okay, that means introducing socket IO, so that's a whole new level. I don't really want to do that just yet. Let's do it like this, but we might have to undo it a bit later. So we passed in the ship position and the angle, so that means we need to do the ship position. Let's go back to that. So where did I set the angle? Oh yes, there we go, rotate. So we did do it here. So okay, so we need to use this show, or bits of this show method in here. Oh, we might be able to get the triangle in there as well. How did I do that? Well, okay, so let's. Dare I just copy this for now? Okay, I'm just going to put all of this inside here. This is another comment notation, but it's different to the other one I showed you, the double slash. This one, you can do slash star or slash star, 2 stars. It basically, it's for multi-line comments, so now anything can be in after this, like this bit, is a comment until I sort of end it here with the opposite, star slash, and that ends the comment. Then everything after here again becomes code again. So it's just to sort of see everything without, I can have it on the screen here. So this is stuff to go on the show. So translate, okay. So translate moves the ship, or moves our current working coordinates to whatever we pass in here. So because we're doing so much in relation to the ship here, such as making a triangle and rotating it, that's why the translate function's at the beginning. So effectively, after we've run translate, the middle of the ship becomes 0, 0, so it just becomes easier then to work with everything else. So let's do that. I think that's a reasonable thing to put in. So translate, let's put that in this position X, this position Y. Okay, so just to show what I mean by that, if I now set this to 0 and set this to 0, it still should work the same way, he says. Let's just load that. Yeah, it still works the same way. We're still in the same place as we were before, so nothing's changed there. But now everything's relative to to what was the ship position. So we can just say, well, the ship's right in the middle of that, so we just say 0, 0. Okay, so that's that line done, so let's get rid of that. So now we need to work out the angle. So let's see, can we just copy that line? So the angle is for the angle of the point, which way the point's going. Okay, so that uses the the atangent 2 function here, atan 2. So let angle equals, so mouse y is how far up or down the screen the mouse is, minus this position y. Now why don't we use 0? Why don't we just use mouse y? There must be a reason why we still go to this position y even though we've translated it here. Alright, we'll come back to that. And mouse x minus this position x. Okay, so that's the angle. So now we rotate. If you look at this here, we can now rotate. Now with the circle it won't make any difference, but obviously when we draw a triangle that's going to make a factor. So we don't alter the angle, so I'm going to make that a constant. That just basically means it's a little bit easier performance, and we know if we try to change it, it'll error because we know it doesn't change now for this time round. So let's see, pi is a constant in P5, which is basically a way to work with angles and what have you. We'll come into that into more detail as we go on, but basically pi over 2 is a quarter turn. I think by default the reason why I've done that is it points that way. That's the 0 degrees of a circle. So pi over 2 basically says, right, by default do that and then add the angle that we've generated on the line above from that point. Yeah, I think that's what we've done there. Okay, what we'll do, I'll make it an ellipse so that we can tell if it's actually changed its angle. Yeah, see, so it's following my mouse no matter where I go. Now if I move it, is it still following the mouse? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh yeah, how cool is that? I mean, how easy was that? That's what I love about this P5 library. Cool, so we've got a rotating ship. So the rest of it is just a triangle. Yeah, let's draw it, we might as well. Okay, so so we've got no fill. Actually, let's come back to all that later. Let's just draw the triangle. So copy that. So let's see, what have we got? Triangle from 0. Now remember, we've translated to the middle of this ship. So a triangle takes 3 points. 1, xy, xy. Let's just say, well, let's put this on separate lines. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So it takes 6 arguments, and it's the xy for each of the 3 points on the triangle. Now remember, we're doing this relative now to the middle of the ship because we've translated. So from point number 1 is no difference xy's, but we're going to go minus up on the y, so that's probably going to be, if that's the middle of the ship, that's probably going to be the point of the triangle there. And then I think this one and this one are just simply coming down to either side of the ship here, and that will give us our triangle. But we haven't got a radius. What did I set for the radius in here? Radius equals 20. Did I set a radius? No. Okay, so let's just put a radius in. This dot radius equals equals 20. Now that could change maybe as the game goes on, get slightly bigger if you've seen Agario or diep.io. The radius changes. So let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm not seeing a triangle. Let's just get rid of the ellipse. Oh, hey. Here we go. So we have our triangle pointing in the direction. Cool. And I think if we move that ellipse up. Now, so here's a little trick. So let's try. Let's put no fill in that. Let's put no fill on the ellipse, and then stroke 255. Let's really make it faint. A little too faint. So I don't want to fill the ellipse, but I do want to fill the triangle. That's why. So fill. I need to work why that's doing that. Fill. Let's fill it with black. But let's. So we're on stroke weight 2 and stroke 255. Let's see if that works. Oh, okay, I'm getting there. Okay, so this is obviously going to look better now if we let's just put a black background in there. There we go. Do I want a stroke weight of 2? Maybe when we've done the asteroids with the proper sides, we'll have a look then. Also, I think I want to make. What do I want to change that? Do you know what? We'll leave it as it is for now. I can always change it later. But I want to draw that ellipse a bit more to give it a bit more weight. So. For 100 opacity. That's much too small, maybe it should be double that size. So radius times 2. Yeah, okay, so that's our collision radius that we're going to be using. So yeah, although the ship is triangle, we can visually see where the collision is going to occur, so that's good. Okay, now so what I'm noticing is the asteroids are just going off into the ether and never to be seen again. Let's try if we can bring them back in. Now I remember on the other version, version 1, we had a edge. Here we go. We had an edge function. Okay. I'm going to use this, but again, this is going to change when we go to server based, because a lot of the parameters change because of the common size of the gameplay. But at the minute we can just use our screen as the size. That's what we did in the other one. So let's just paste that. So asteroid dot prototype dot edge equals function. Now we're passing in the client here, but I don't think we need that. I think we can just grab that globally, which is not great practice to be honest, but for the purpose of this game we'll do it for now. So asteroid prototype edge, yeah. So okay, so I've sort of jumped ahead a little bit here, but let's just comment this out and I'll explain what's happening. Let's go through it in steps. So every time we move an asteroid, we need to check if it's past the edge of the screen. So that's what this is, this asteroid's edge method. So it's going to go to this. So basically we want to check if we have our screen and the asteroid come to the end. Once it's got to the end, we want it to go poof and immediately just come in the other side again. And the same with top and bottom. If it goes up the top, it immediately appears at the bottom, or vice versa. So that's what this logic here does. But let's just write it out in explicitly here. So if this dot position dot y, oh, I've done y first. I wouldn't normally do x. Let's do x. If this dot position dot x, now I'll come back to the radius thing in a moment. So x, as I'm looking at my screen, x is here, x0 is here. So if the position of the asteroid becomes less than 0, if it goes off the edge here, we want it to be changed to whatever the width of the screen is to come back on here. So if x is less than 0, then basically what we want to say is this dot position dot x equals width. I think that'll do it. So let's just try that and check for any that go off to the left. So let's see what happens if any go off to the left, if they come onto the right. Or I might have done it the other way around actually. Oh, no, it did. It went off to the left and came on the right. Now that's not going to happen. This one's just going to go off. But definitely that one. Let's just check it again. So that should just come on here. But notice when it does it exactly, it's exactly halfway off and halfway on when it comes on. So we know that works. And that halfway on, halfway off is this why we've got the this dot radius. So we want to sort of check that it's gone off and half its radius has gone off as well, or its radius has gone off as well, so it's completely disappeared from view before we then think to bring it on the other side. So that's why we have plus this dot radius. So now any that go off the left, oh, let's get them all. I'm not going to see that one because it's going to go off the top, but this one we should be able to see. If it goes off to the left, it should go fully off, but we haven't adjusted it. It'll be half on here. So fully off, yeah. Oh, why didn't it come back on? Oh, we haven't set this radius. Now for now, oh no, actually I better put it in the constructor because that is going to change as it gets smaller. So this dot radius equals r. And so I better go back to sketch. Where do I add them asteroids? Width divided by 2, height divided by 2, 50. Okay. So now we pass that into the constructor. Let's just get one that's going a bit faster in that direction. There we go. So let's see what happens here. This should go fully off. And then should half appear here. Fully off. Half appear. Excellent. So back to the asteroid. So we say plus disposition x equals the width plus this dot radius. Now it should go fully off that side, and then it should appear from nothing on this side. So let's check this one. So that's going to be about here. It goes fully off now, and then there we go, fully on. Excellent, I'm happy with that. So now what we can do is copy this 4 times, I'll copy it 3 times, and just adjust. So what have I done for that? If this position x minus the radius, so this is going off the other way now, so if that's greater than the width, then this position equals 0 minus the radius. I think that's fine. So now let's do the y's. If this is greater than 0, there's less than 0, that's going up. So we need to make it height. This position y equals height. And if this position y minus the radius is greater than height, in other words, if it's gone off the bottom, then we want it to be 0 minus the radius, so that it comes in complete. I think that is it. Let's load that page. Okay, so these now should all just keep recycling onto the screen. Looks good to me. Oh, it just doesn't seem to be exactly as I... seems to be a bit of a delay. I thought it would come straight on. There's just like a gap before it comes on. I'm not going to argue with that. It seems to work. Alright, that's cool. So we've got our edge function in place now. The asteroids are just indefinitely going to hover around until something happens to them. So let's see if we can do the shot. So we've created the shot class. Let's have a look how we did it on the other one. Constructor, ship position and angle. Right, okay, so that's what led to this name. So let's say, so constructor, ship position and angle. So I think we need to create this position is the ship's position. Yeah. So we can copy that line. So that will put it in the middle of the ship, not where the point is. Let's just see how that works. I might change that. So what else did we do? Ooh, right, yes. So P5 is a nifty little feature here. So the velocity now, see, when we were dealing with the ships and the asteroids, because the random the ship only works on left, right, up, down, the combinations of, but the asteroids had random x, random y, which effectively create random angles, sort of as depending on how much of a value of x and how much of a value of y, no, x and y, we add to the asteroid, so that creates a random angle. But with the shot, it's not random. We are pointing the ship in a particular angle, and we want to make sure the shot follows that trajectory even after it's left the ship, even if the ship moves. So we need to treat this a little bit differently, and that's where this little function here comes in. So we can get rid of P5 from there, but with this P5 we do need to keep it in, albeit with a small p. So P5.vector.fromAngle takes the angle and creates the amount of x and y. So if we have an angle, if we've got your x and y, I'm looking at it, you're looking at it back to front maybe now, but if we've got an x and y that's like that, and we've got, say, an angle of 45 degrees, so we're passed in onto this function here at 45 degrees. So we need to know how much x is that and how much y is that, because that then gives us our vector. So this p5 vector from angle basically does that. It gives us an x and a y. It actually gives us a vector object like this does, but it gives us it from an angle rather than just from an x and a y. So now we have the amount of x and y needed for the direction that the shot is going to go in. So we can now treat this very much as we do the asteroid with the move and the show. So let's copy that into there, although we can just change that to shot. So if we do move and show for any I don't want to do it as an ellipse, I just want to do a point, but I want to set the stroke weight a bit fatter. So stroke weight, let's say 4, and then point, draw a point at the position. Is that going to work? Let's try it. So let's move it. Shoot! Oh, of course, we're not showing it, are we? Oh, yeah, we are. Oh no, we're not calling it. Not calling the show. So I need to do the same here. Yeah, I need to do the same here for the shots. Now, this is. Let's just hope this works the way I expect it to. So we need to create an array of shots now. But the difference is we're not creating the shots. The shots are created when the mouse is pressed. So let me just tidy that up there. So let's just, I'm getting a bit, let's put asteroids in there. Okay, so that's the movement and that's me. So now we need to do the shots. We don't need to add them, but we do need to display them. So let's just copy this. We'll call this. I'm going to change this. The only reason why I'm doing that is the asteroid count is set, but in the nature of the game, the asteroids get added to, because rather than clear levels, we're just going to keep adding new asteroids as the old ones are destroyed. So it might not be 10 or whatever it's set to on the server every time. It might vary. So rather than, although we're initially setting it with 10, it could change through the course of the game. So that here we're just going to get a list of a count of how many asteroids there are and do it that way, so that we're always going to do the full length of the asteroid each time. And that means we can do the same with this. We'll call that S. Doesn't really matter what you call it as long as you're consistent. So we do shots S. We don't need to do, oh yes, we do need to do edge. We do need to do move. We need to do show. Ooh, yes, so we need edge as well, because the shots go off the edge of the screen and come back on the other. So the main difference with the shot is they don't last forever. There is a finite amount of distance that they travel before they end if they don't collide with anything, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So at the minute this should just work, but we'll have no shots. Yeah, because we're not generating any shots. Oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why did I change so many? There's a lot of asteroids. Did I do that many? Asteroid count equals 10. Oh yeah, because I was going to create the shots when I do it. So shots are created by clicking. I believe there's a mouse click. There we go. So let's just copy this. Let's put that in the main sketch. Function key pressed. Let's put it here. Function mouse clicked. We don't need the P5. So yeah, so we pass an angle into the shot, don't we? We pass an angle and the ship position. Ship position's fine. We can just get me dot position, which I think is what we do. Let's get rid of them too. Yeah, so we can just pass me dot position and angle. So we just need to work out angle, which is the 8hand2 function mouse y minus me dot position dot y mouse x minus me dot position dot x. So you remember when we were working out drawing the angle of the ship, we took the current mouse minus the current position. In fact, we can go into that. Current mouse minus current position, and we're just doing the same here to work out the angle for the shot. Ah, yeah. Oh, cannot read property push of undefined. That's not dish.shots. We're not in view.js anymore. So it's just shots. Click. Oh, shot is not defined. Okay, any prizes for guessing why shot is not defined? If you guessed that we didn't add it in here correctly, you are right. We didn't add it in here at all. So let's put shot.js in there. Let's try again. Okay. So we're sort of there. Okay, let's just tidy this up. So, what's the problem here visually? As soon as I click, the ellipse on the ship goes bigger. So we need to explicitly set that. So, yeah, we don't set a stroke weight. Let's put the stroke weight up here for both of them. There we go. However, what I'm not liking is I'm not liking that it's coming from the middle. See, if I'm going down, for example, say that's correct. I don't mind that because it is. If I keep still, it comes from where the point is. Anyway, they're not fast enough for a start, so let's multiply that out. Let's multiply it here by 2. That's more like it. So if I multiply that by 3, there we go. More realistic. So we've got our shots. Now our shot should go off the edge. Oh no. It can come back. Ah. Yes. Because I shots s dot edge. Oh, no, I have done it. So I copy the we don't have a radius, so let's get rid of that. See if that's what it was. Oop. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. So they're just going to carry on forever. So they need to have a lifespan on them. Let's put the lifespan on them. So let's have a look at the old shot class. Okay, so I had a lifespan variable. How did I use that? Oh, okay, so I just literally did the count. Do I need to do it in a separate function? I think what we could do here is this dot lifespan equals 20, and then every time we do the move function, let's just check first if lifespan is, just do it here. Don't see why we have to have a separate function for that. So this dot lifespan plus plus. So what that basically means is just add 1 to it. No, -1 from it. And then if it's 0, we can get rid of it. How did I get rid of it? Frames. Ooh. Ooh, how did I get rid of it? Ah, so I did it outside the class. So I need to so I need to return a variable here. Okay, so if this dot if this dot lifespan is equal to or less than, no, it's less than or equal to 0, just if by some strange thing it happens to go less than 0, I want to catch it as well. Then I want to return false, otherwise I add it to the position and return true. So this idea of returning is to let the calling code know how this function fared. Did it do what it wanted, or did something else happen? So returning false or true lets the calling code know what the result is. So do we get rid of it as it ended its life, or does it live for another frame? So we can now go to the sketch, and in shots.move we can say if shots.move, which basically means if it returned true, we can say that's fine, check for edges and show it. If it returned false, we need to remove it from the array, and that uses a function called splice s1. So at the location in the array of s, which is what we're looping over, we get rid of it. So you'll notice slowly I'm in a change of clothes from the end of that last point, or that last code change that we made. I tried to finish off that video with an explanation of what arrays were and why we have to make a slight change to this code here, but it got my drawing on my iPad that I put up on the screen didn't well at all. It was just pointless. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make the change here now anyway, but what I'm going to do is make some extra small videos just to cover little parts, little like 10-minute videos just to cover different aspects of the code as we've been going through, to explain what they are. So that means the core videos themselves, I don't have to spend too much time on them, but I can explain in more detail the specific things that are going on. So look out for them in the videos in my channel. I'll just put them as named things like functions or arrays or something like that, and then you can just see what I'm referring to. But the change we have to make, the reason, I'll just briefly explain it. Well, I'll make the change first of all, is it's to do with these shots. And if you watch the video that I'll make on arrays, then you'll see why I'm making this change. But essentially, rather than going through the array from the beginning to the end, we're going to be going from the end to the beginning. And like I say, the other video will explain in more detail why that's the case. So the way to do that is, rather than start s at 0, we start s at the length -1. we keep looping while s is greater than naught, but rather than add 1 to s, we take away. So for example, if there was 3 items in the array, if we had 3 items in the array, then shots.length will be 3, so we will be starting s at 2. Now the thing to remember about an array is that an array always begins at 0, not 1. So you'd have 0, 1, 2 are the 3 items in the array. So we start at 2, we minus 1, so let's say that was 2, we minus 1, which will bring us to 1, we minus another 1, which will bring us to 0, which is still a valid array item, then we minus again, but because s is now equal to 0, actually is less than 0, so we need to say while it's greater than or equal, we can carry on, but because now s is less than 0, it would be minus 1, the loop ends. As I say, I'll explain that in more detail in the auxiliary video. But what we'll do is we'll call it, and for 2.1 we'll wrap her up there anyway, and we'll start maybe focusing a little bit more on the server side things now. We'll put one or two more features in the front end just to make it a bit more interactive, but generally we're going to be looking at starting to make this work over multiple browsers. So pick this up at 2.2, hopefully that'll be published soon, and again, as always, thanks for watching.